Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Cynthia Howard, and this is your Tuesday 11:30 Live. Today we are continuing the theme of Career Strong, Get the Momentum Going in 2026, and we're going to be talking about acing the interview. How do you stand out when technology screens everyone first? It's why interviews feel so much harder today. First of all, they're no longer just conversations, okay? They are strategic systems that you need to think about that is going to propel you forward. So things that have changed is bots are now screening resumes. There are shorter interview windows. There are more virtual windows, which means there are reduced chances to cue in humanity and get face to face with someone. So you're being evaluated before you've even had the chance to speak or to show up in your best way. So there are tips that we are going to go into as it relates to the resume and other aspects of your career. Today, we are just talking about the interview. So I want to talk about that. So if we look at what the interviewers are really evaluating, because they've already looked at your skills. They've had this bot go through, look at your education. So when you get the chance to be in front of someone, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person, they are looking at your presence. What is your confidence? How are you showing up? Do you have emotional intelligence activated? Meaning, are you smiling? Are your facial cues matching the scenario that you might be talking about? Now, everybody understands there's going to be a little bit of nervousness, but you want to be confident. You want to make sure your hand gestures, your body language matches what you're trying to convey. Is your thinking clear? Can you adapt to a curveball question? And what is your learning mindset? So these are areas that you can prepare ahead of time. And you we have an ACE the interview checklist that I think will be great for you to use for the future. So we will link that in the description and in the comments below this live stream. They're going to look at your energy. What is your energy level and how professional do you come across? Now, energy level is interesting because some people have a very calm, peaceful energy. And if that is true, you may want to up your game a little bit. Just like if you're very vibrant and you use your hands a lot, you may want to pull that in. First of all, you will have done some research on the job and the company, and so you're going to have a better idea of what they're actually looking for. So just keep this in mind. Skills are going to get you the interview, but the emotional intelligence is going to get you the job offer. So we call this ACE the interview, and that's because you want to align with that company. We're going to talk about each one. You want to communicate effectively and clearly, and then you want to be engaged. So you're going to ace this interview. Okay. So the align piece has to do with your preparation. First of all, what is the role? You want to make sure that you're looking through that job description and you understand what their responsibilities are. You're also going to want to understand how your previous experiences aligns with that. You're going to write down different scenarios that you've had in the past so that when you talk about those, it's very comfortable, it's very easy, and it's very concise. You're going to take a look at what the organizational's challenges are, whether that's through press releases, whether that's through their social channels, but dig into that organization. Use LinkedIn as your search engine and start to connect with people that are part of that organization. And If you can figure out or find out what the priorities are of the interview, that would really be helpful. Is this a position they've had open for a while? Is this a position that is hard to fill? Do they need to fill it quickly? What are the demands for that position? So you want to do your homework. And then, of course, there are the basic things like what are the mission, vision, values, and current challenges. So you want to shift your mindset from how do I prove myself to how am I adding value? Okay. When you do that, you're going to shift from needing their validation to coming across more confidently and recognizing that you're bringing something to the table. So, yes, you definitely want to see those cues of people smiling and nodding their heads. But if they don't do that, that doesn't mean that you're failing the interview. So when you shift from how am I proving myself to how can I solve their problem, is you are more in charge. You're also taking a look at your skills in the context of how do I add value. So you want to create a 30-second pitch statement based on that value add. So if they say, we are in a high tech environment. There's a lot of regulation, and your experiences in that area, you can say in less than 30 seconds, because of that scenario, here's how I can help because of my past experience, because I've done this, that, and the other. So you're going to rehearse these things. I recommend keeping a spreadsheet with each company, all the contact information, and then bullets of those scenarios that you're going to talk about. What is your value statement? Because you're also going to want to adjust your resume to match that company. Now, the C in the ACE has to do with communicating. So this practice and this research that you've done is going to help you communicate more clearly than if you didn't practice. So clear beats clever. While it's great to be funny and it's great to have one-liners, you want to make sure that whatever you're saying is adding value to the interviewer. They are doing this all day long, and while they may chuckle, you want to make sure that you're getting your skills across, you're getting your personality across in the highest and best way, and you are getting your value across. So you want to answer with some structure. Here was the situation. Here's what happened. Here's the result. Leave out extraneous details. Don't go around the barn. Over explaining is not going to be helpful. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose your energy. Okay. So as you communicate, it's clear. The pace is good. There are times that you may even slow down. You may even want to pause. And then your energy level needs to stay up. So the digital presence matters because that has to come through, especially if you're doing a virtual interview. Practice having eye contact with the camera. Practice your posture so that you're sitting upright. And practice pauses because you may want to take a pause, take a deep breath, and let them think about what you just said. You may even want to ask a question. Is there anything else that I can add to clarify that? Do you have any questions for me? Okay, so clear versus clever. Practice. You're going to give the situation, you're going to give the action, and then you're going to give the result. And you're going to avoid all of those details that don't really matter. Now, the third part of ACE is engage. And this is where you are going to demonstrate your emotional intelligence because we're in the age of AI where technology has really encroached upon everybody's life. But AI is still just a bot. You are a human being. And when you are emotionally engaged, that means you are smiling or you are in a frame of mind and your facial expression demonstrates that, where you are thoughtful and you are matching the event. So you're not smiling and laughing while you're talking about something that was difficult to experience. And you're also not frowning when you're talking about something that could have a smile where you can engage the interviewers. Okay, so this connection is what's going to close the gap. Those people who have higher EI skills are more likely to get the position because they're easier to work with. They're coachable. They've done reflection, and reflection is how adults learn. And that is one of the big things that your interviewers are looking for. Do you have a learning mindset? So your ability to do some reflection and learn from that is demonstrating that learning mindset. So you're going to ask questions. And here's a brilliant question that I absolutely love. What does success in this position look like for you in the first 90 days, in the first 6 months, in the first year? That's a question that you can ask them that's also going to help them be clear with you. What does success look like for me when I take this position? Okay, you're going to show curiosity, not desperation. Oh, I really love this job. I can't wait to leave my other job. No, no, no. Tell me about the people that work there. Tell me about the leadership style. Tell me about the leadership team. Talk about the interpersonal dynamics. What are some of the challenges that people experience as a result of working here? What are the challenges for the person in this role? What were some of those challenges of the person that has just recently left this position? Okay. And then you want to wrap up the interview by restating your interest, and you're going to reaffirm your fit. Why are you a good fit? You started out the interview with expressing your value. What were the strengths and expertise that you bring that are going to help them solve that problem of their challenge, and how you can do that, and do that quickly? Smile. Look people in the eye. People are going to remember how you made them feel, and you're going to do that by being engaged emotionally. You're going to demonstrate confidence without being overly confident and bravado, braggadocious. But at the same time, you don't need to be humiliating yourself with false humility. Okay. So there are some mistakes that people make, particularly if this is virtual. Don't make this a casual Zoom call. Even if you're actually in person and people are casual, don't make it casual. This is your job interview, and you want people to know that you're serious. Even if you're showing up in jeans and a t-shirt, you want people to know that you're serious about this next opportunity that's in front of you. Limit your distractions. You want to make sure you turn off your cell phone, your watch, or anything else that's going to distract you. While you want to rehearse, you don't want to sound like a robot, and you don't want things coming out of your mouth like you're a bot. Okay? So rehearse it, but use bullets. Then you don't want to undervalue yourself or your energy by being too low key. Okay. So you want to be excited. Now you're getting information too, and you may not have even decided if you want this position, but you want to be excited about the opportunity to check it out. And that is going to go a long way with the interviews. So you're going to align your value, you're going to communicate with clarity. You're going to engage with emotional intelligence. And this is how you are going to ace this interview. Because in this digital age, while the bots are collecting data, while the bots are looking for patterns, it's the person that engages with energy and emotional intelligence that's going to get the job offer. So I can't wait to hear how your interview went. Be sure to connect with us. And if you want more of these tools, the checklist that I mentioned, and other things that we mentioned during these live streams, be sure to register for the live stream. The link is below, and we will make sure that you have access to all of that. In the meantime, stay focused and stay energized.